Thank you very much, Ian, and thanks to Bishop David, who's had to rush away, as he said. There being no such thing as a free drink, you actually do have to listen to speeches, and one from me, I'm sorry. I'd actually planned, just to let you know, that there were going to be 3 other speakers apart from myself, because I did ask Malala, who will probably appear on the screen at the moment anyway, if she was able to speak, but she unfortunately had to get on with her homework, and I think that's the second time in 43 years that I've had that excuse for not going out. But it was the first time that I'd actually been offered, would you like to go out with my father instead? But unfortunately he was unwell, so that didn't work either. So I'm really grateful to Bishop David and to Ian Ward for their really kind words, and above all to all of you for coming, because the library project has been a team effort, both in the sense of the team who've worked on it from within the library, but it's been a city-wide project. We always said we were building the city. This is not just about building a library, and I think the fact that somehow I've managed to accumulate such an eclectic mix of people along the way who are prepared to come and have a drink with me at the end of 28 years is, I think that was, in a way, I never planned that, but it's great that that's what's happened, and I do hope we'll stay in touch. So I haven't got a sheet of notes, but what I do have, this could take a while, because like Ian, I had a quick look back, and this is one of these wonderful coincidences. You're not going to be able to see all of this, and it doesn't matter. But in my job, you get sent some strange things. And this one came from the Lord Mayor's office, literally yesterday. If I hold it up. And it's actually an article from a magazine. This is the photocopy, of course. But they sent me an original magazine from 1952. It's called Everybody's Magazine. And I'm sure you're all subscribers, but it went out of business in 1959. It merged with John Bull magazine, and I'm sure you're all subscribers to that too. But it was a feature about what Birmingham will look like in 50 years' time. So I thought that was really interesting. So the cars look like irons on wheels. There is no mention of public transport or bicycles whatsoever. But I wanted... there's a great few images of Centenary Square, and the replacement theatre for the Prince of Wales Theatre, that of course was bombed out in the war, that never happened, and is now on the site, or is now the site of Symphony Hall, of course. The plans for the planetarium are well explored in there, that was going to sit outside the Rep, that never happened. So we should always make big plans, and you never know what's going to come of those. There's a wonderful picture of the, I'm going to leave it here, you can come and have a look, of the library site, when it was going to be the massive new Civic Centre replacement, that was going to be the extension, the build on to Baskerville House. And so the library would never have happened. The library isn't mentioned, strangely, not even the Maiden Library, because that was 1952. But my favourite quote, and you can take this exactly as you will, friend and Councillor Ward, was, well, I'll read the whole thing. Birmingham Town Hall, already over 100 years old, will probably still be standing in 50 years' time. Well, I think that was a fairly safe guess, wasn't it, Rita? But it goes on. The council house already, however, is already out of date and will have been replaced by a planned civic centre in Broad Street. So we sometimes your plans work, and I guess if I'd got one from 2002, it would have talked about the Richard Rogers Library in Eastside. That was a big plan that never happened. But I think we can all be hugely delighted and very, very proud of the fact that the Library of Birmingham did happen. So that was 1952, and then Ian has already done what I did and looked up what happened in 1987 when I came here. The one thing he didn't mention, 2 things he didn't mention. One was that in 1987 the City Council unveiled a new city centre strategy. So we've had a few of those along the way. That was that one. But 3 months after I started work with the City Council, Aston Villa finished bottom of the First Division. And they were relegated along with Leicester City, and my 2 senior colleagues who are in the room, and I won't point to them, but they know who they are. You won't want to think of that as an omen for the next 3 months, I'm sure. But of course by 1990 Aston Villa were runners-up in the First Division, so I'm sure history will repeat itself there. Maybe. Birmingham City were finished 19th in the second division and were heading for a financial crisis. So some things never change. It's really fascinating. But I'm going to finish now, but thank you all very much for being here, and I'm sure you would rather have been finding out who murdered Lucy Beale in EastEnders, and you just have to be patient. I've had a ball over the last 10 years. It's been incredibly hard work, a huge challenge, and massively rewarding. It's been the people who make it, as it always is. I'm really grateful to you all. I'm desperately sad in many ways to be leaving the library at such a hugely challenging time, and Ian's already referred to that. It's what none of us would have wished. The library will be back. I think this year is going to be a really difficult year, but I think we should all have confidence and the will to make it bounce back, because the last, well actually, you don't even need to look back at the last 18 months, just if you've spent 2 minutes in the library today, it's been absolutely buzzing with children and their families. It's what we all wanted the library to be. It's worked, and I'm incredibly grateful to that huge team of staff who've delivered it, and to all of you who've been so supportive down the years. So thank you. And yeah, leaving the library, but I'm leaving it in the hands of really talented and young, talented leaders who will take it forward, and it will rise again. And that's really all I want to say. So it's a big thank you to all of you. It's invidious to mention anybody individually, but I will do therefore just 2 people. First of all, my wonderful partner Andrew, who's hiding behind the camera. Do you want to stop or start? I'll keep going. But thank you for all your support. And if it is the wrong thing to do to single out anybody, I'm going to make that one mistake, because there's one person who has made everything possible and easy for me not easy, but easier for me to deliver, and that of course is Noella, I support, so you have to. So just a very, very small token of everything you've done for me and for the library service. So thank you very much. And that's it. We should put the film back on, it was much better. The general, don't forget, was not a subtle reference or a statement of intent of any sort. Remember, the general was the train in the film, the engine, not plastic. That's it. Have another drink, there's plenty left.